All right. This is Under the Groove, and I'm your host, Big Bub, for touching bases with the people. This is where we see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. This is where we keep everything above board and solid, people. Black unity and love for one another is our objective. That's our only objective. All right. So let's get into it and get down with this. Get down, man. While we're doing it, let's stay focused on the focus. Y'all know how we do, man. This is the people's platform. Before I get started, I'd like to mention a few things, give a few shots out to a few people who deserve them, who deserve these shots out. First, man, I'd like to thank Pope, man, from Pope Mitchell's podcast, him and his wife, man, for the donation of books. They donated to us. We received them recently, and we passed those books out. We'd like to thank you and your wife, Pope, man. Thank you very much for that. Those who received the books were happy to get them, and you should have saw the look on some of their faces to receive a book instead of a cell phone. Open a book and see words and read. That's a different fit, man. Just think about that. All right. For most of us, man, and especially when it comes to our youth, they're more inclined or more in tune with grabbing a cell phone rather than a book to read about something or learn something. All right. So there that is, man. Again, we thank you and your wife, Pope, man. Peace and blessings to you for that, bro. Also, we have a job bulletin notice, man, for those of the people who are looking for a job. And this is courtesy of Coco. All right. The loved one, Coco, man, he sent this information, man. I will put it in a chat also so that, you guys will have it before we end this session tonight. But it's www.governmentjobs.com/careers/LA Metro. To my understanding, the job is hiring for ambassadors, those who would just ride on the bus, whatever that is, a train or whatever. And sit there, let them know if something's wrong with the train or something. I don't know how that job really goes, but it pays anywhere between $22 and $26. Look, they got up to 250 openings. I'm putting it out there for the folks, man, for the people, man. So if somebody want that job, I would suggest y'all look into that as quick as possible, because y'all know before, other people hear about it, man, they en masse. You know what I mean? They're going to go try to commandeer them jobs, man. Another shout out, man. I want to give this shout out specifically to the homeboy Skeet, man. Skeet did a car show. The Never Ever Car Club did a car show up at Compton College, man. It was bomb. It was fire. Hey, man, I've never seen so many tight ass Lolos. It got me back into this thing. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you better, I tell you, but I'm going to get me one of them things, man. And hopefully I'll have it ready and up and running, man, by the time he throw another one of those functions. I also want to say that, again, some of the hardest low riders were there, man. They had competitions and whatnot, man. There was some of everybody from everywhere there. Shit was fly, man. Wasn't nothing. You know what I mean? Wasn't nothing, Ran into cats, man, supposedly from other sets, man. Hey, man, we grown, man, chopped it up with them, man. This is a good look, man, for the community. So, hey, Skeet, man, I hat off to you, man. You did a fabulous job, a magnificent job. Hey, man, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. I will be at the next one. Trust to know that. So salute to you, brother, for that, man. And I'm wondering if anybody had happened to go to that function. That was Sunday at Compton's College. We took pictures and videos, a lot of that stuff, man. I had a great time, actually. I had a great time. So, Skeet, I appreciate that from you, bro. Also, last but not least, man, I would like everybody to think for a minute. Sister Assata Shakur passed away a few days ago. This sister, man, was one of the ones, man, with the business, man, and wasn't having no funnies done to her by no one, especially some Woods. She passed away in Cuba the other day, man. We'd like to send our condolences to the Shakur family. Number love and respect for that sister. She laced us with guidance. She instructed us. She taught even from exile in terms of how to overcome this system. You know, her legacy is priceless, man. It's gonna always be there, you guys. I have the book actually, her book. And hey, man, I suggest you guys go get that book as well. Check it out. See what she have to say about all that. Uh, Another one of our warriors, though. All right, another one of our warriors have gone, and hope she's embraced by all those who went before her. You know, peace and blessings to her and her family. So there that is, man. Again, another. I think just another loss. You know, another loss in how we sorely need her now. You know, and others like her, other sisters, other queens, goddesses, just like her in this get out to get us where we need to be. All right. So I had a couple of things I want to ask the chat about. I saw something on what was it, social media, man. I think it was YouTube. Anyway, have anyone heard about the Israeli government saying that they have a major problem with our black youth here in America? Has anyone saw that? And in fact, it's not necessarily new. Just the fact of the matter is back out, you know, within the mainstream of, well, social media again. I think that's powerful enough for us, you know, to want to, you know, pay attention to what was said and why they're saying it. The fix is in. Just put it like that. The fix is in. And this is what we talk about when we talking about education, especially education of self, education of history, you know, politics, economics, whatever the case may be. When we lack education, we have these type of people who will come and try to usurp, not just usurp what we have or where we are, but us. You know, I've said this in a podcast maybe a year ago. They will begin to try to take over us. And I think that move is in full effect, people. I really do. So my question to the chat is, has anyone first off seen this piece? It's on YouTube. Second, why is that? Why would the Israeli government be concerned about our black youth in America? You know, what threat lies there? You feel me? You know, I mean, I have an idea, but you know, let's have that conversation if we will. You know, again, why would Israel have an issue with us as a people? That's something to be discussed. I really think so. And then the last one is this one. I know by now everybody has heard of Chat GPT. If you haven't, you need to go and research Chat GPT. Um, if you heard of it, you have to be following what's in social media as a result of it. Woods asking it, and when I mean Woods, I'm talking about them people asking it specific questions about race. Well, more specifically about us. And the answers they're getting are not satisfactory to them. You know what I mean? Because it goes into this thing, not no litany or nothing like that. It's just not, it don't go on a tangent. It specifically lays down historical fact, you know, and then not only that, but spiritual, what's the word? Superiority, actually. You know, it tells, well, it exposes the lie, you know, or the lies spread by so many throughout history about us. Y'all need to check that out, man. Chat GPT. It's all over YouTube right now, man. And those people are having a fit. They're saying, no, this thing is made up. This is a farce. Somebody is doing this. This is not a computer. This is not AI. I'm telling you, they're losing it. But yeah, let's check that out, man. And I would advise you guys check that out, man. And then hopefully we could talk about it later. That would be a good conversation to have. That would be something, not only a good conversation to have, but that'll be something I think worthwhile spreading to the masses, you know, giving them some exposure of that, you know, that particular app right there is speaking truth to power, man. And you can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. So there that is. Welcome everybody into the chat. As I said previously, this is Under the Groove, where we are touching bases with the people. So let's focus on the focus and get down with this. Get down like we do. Hey, the people first. You know, the people are first. They should be. And if they aren't, man, we need to start making some changes. We need to start applying ourselves in terms of what's really our priority when it comes not just ourselves but us as a whole. We have to start putting the people first. People. That's a must, I think. All right, all right. Michelle Hall is in the get out. She said, peace and love to the people in the chat. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you see fit, people. But for sure, if you own the get out, man, like it. Hit that like button, all right? And comment though. I would prefer comments over, guys hitting the like button, tell you the truth. The people is what propel this thing in my mind. In my mind, we get some of the best right here. We're not moved with, honestly, we're not moved with numbers. And again, we don't make nothing here. We don't look to make nothing here. We look to connect with the people. We look to touch bases with the people. That's it. That's all. Raymond Skull, what it do? Hold on, wait. I'm ahead of myself. Poke Mitchell, man. Poke Mitchell podcast. I wonder if everybody been checking out Poke's channel. Again, this is another brother who he dispenses truth to power. Nothing messy about him. Nothing messy about him, all right? He's not in this BS that we see a lot of our brothers in. So I think it would be the right move would be to check this brother out, and deal with this brother, go into his comments, man, watch his show, help this brother get this thing up and running. We need the people to help this brother get this thing up and running. All right. So, hey, Poke, man, salute, bro. Hope that everything is well. He goes on to say, thank you, Bub. It's an honor. And once again, it is a blessing to be a part of a positive movement and learning together at UTG. Conversely, bro. Conversely. And this go for everybody in the chat. And I think this is one of our mantras or one of our mantras should be that, we learn and we move together. We're going to build this thing. Like I said, this is grassroots, man. And most of you guys understand what the grassroots movement is. I think this is one in the early stage. We keep this thing like we supposed to. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. We have some ideas we want to start initiating. I'm telling you, we're going to need the people to help us put this stuff at the forefront. Ideas, man. The ideas aren't nothing, unless we actually put them into motion. Let's bring them out. Let's bring them in front of the people. Let's make it happen. So, Poke, man, I appreciate you as well, bro. Raymond Skull, man, peace and blessings to you, bub. Also, shout out to the group. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, now there's that bond. I see it forming, the group. We're going to move beyond chat, because everybody use chat. I don't think that everybody who say or use the term chat or have a following jail and bond as much as we do. We've all noticed, we've all said this. I've yet to find anything negative in this get out, man. That says a lot. That says a lot, not about the platform, but about the people that's participating with this get out. And I'm hoping that, again, don't just keep it here. Let's expand this. Let's find our brothers and sisters that's pushing positivity and growth, man. We got to let them know we here, man. We have to let them know we support them. It's all for the betterment, man, the betterment of our people. That's it. That's all. That's what I'm on. I can't speak for no one else, but from this group, not this chat, but from this group, it's all above board. Solid people. Touching bases with one another, man. That's to get out. But anyway, Raymond Skull go on to say peace and blessing you, bub. Also, shout out to the group. By the way, if anyone has any solid job leads in Indianapolis that can help me, I would like the information. Thank you. See, there we go. Now we got a network. See, now we got to find some brothers and sisters in Indianapolis. I know a brother over in Idaho. He doing the damn thing. He was from South Central, out of Watts, doing a thing, man. I know more brothers in New York, Jersey, Texas. Now we got to tap into Indianapolis. Let's see if we can make this thing happen. Again, this is what the get out is for. This group is going to work together, man, to get each other, one another, man, up and at it. That's what I see. That's my vision. But yeah, hey, Raymond Skull, we're on that. We're going to figure out something, brother, because see, you're one of them brothers that say, hey, man, I'm about my business. Your priorities seem to be in order. And that's something, man, that needs to be supported, man, and recognized. So continue doing what you're doing, brother. Don't stop. Don't stop. All right. Stay focused on the focus. Jabarni, one perfect black love to you in the chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Back to you, Jabarni. Yeah, one perfect love back to you and the group. You know, that's the get down, bro. I'll tell you this thing, man. Like I said, um, for those that don't know, this is not by no means some BS. I don't think so. I don't think so. Like I told you guys, my spirit be lifted every time I think it could be Sunday, and I'm okay. Tuesday coming up, I'll be ready to go. I'll be excited, man. It could be Tuesday today. I'm thinking about Thursday to come hang out with the group. To come hang out with the group. And speaking of such, I had a snafu Saturday at 11. So I ended up having to change it. This is concerning the book club. I had to change the book club. I didn't know I had to change the address to get a new meeting address and passcode. So I'm up in there, man. I'm just talking away, man. And somebody hit me and said, hey, there's nothing on. I'm like, what you mean there's nothing on? I'm looking at the thing like, nah, man, there's nothing on. And it dawned on me because I changed it from Wednesday to Saturday. That means also that the address and the passcode needed to be changed as well. So that's on me again. I'm just, man, got it though. We got a new one. It's in the description. You can find the link in the description. Not link per se, but the passcode, the meeting address, ID, and passcode is in the description. So I put it there myself just minutes ago. All right. So again, we're on it. All right. We're on it. The group, man, has to grow, and we have to help one another as best we can. And sometimes that help, man, it's not always. I think that's part of the problem with a lot of our people. We always look for monetary assistance. We don't have enough brothers and sisters saying, hey, man, I want a job. Don't give me $1, man. Help me get a job. You don't know how much, brothers and sisters who ask for that type of support and assistance is appreciated, man. So just to hear that, man, is something. That's what we're here for, though. That's what we're here for. So, hey, Jarbani, man, appreciate you in the chat, brother. As always, it's good to see you back, man. Yeah, 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 Poke, real spit, man. Assata, man, Assata Shakur. Man, a real warrior right there. That's a real warrior queen, and they would like, I think, the establishment would like to paint a picture of her as a terrorist or whatever the case may be, rather than a person fighting for justice. We know the deal. We know the deal. It's nothing they can tell us about our people, especially when our people go to war with them, and fight back against them. There's nothing they can tell us to sway, not the minds that know better. There's nothing they can say. We're going to always remember that sister, like I said, her legacy will live on, man, for a very, very, very long time. So rest in peace, sister. You will be missed. Will be missed. But yeah. What's that? Anthony Block. Anthony, did I say that right? Anthony Block. Okay, Houston in the house. Welcome, Houston. And I don't know if that's Antoine. And Anthony Block. Okay, welcome, Houston. Welcome, Anthony. I appreciate you in this get down, brother. And I don't think this is your first time. Like I said, I'm to the point now and I can remember most names that come in the chat, especially when they're new. But when they've been here with us once or twice, man, off the rip, I know them. I'd say, okay, yeah, that's one of the brothers, or that's one of the sisters. But anyway, brother, we appreciate your presence in this get out. How's everything in Houston? Hopefully you brothers, man, are waking up as well. Because I tell y'all, man, brothers and sisters are waking up now. They're going to keep that, though, from the line. Like, what did they say? What did they say? The revolution will not be televised. Y'all better trust that. Trust that. They're going to find a means or a way to keep that out of you guys. They don't need y'all focusing on that. Because y'all see that, y'all going to be willing and ready. So they need to always put something in our face to distract us from reality. Reality is Black folks are waking up. We are waking up now. So they don't want everybody to know that. The more the merrier, the least for them, the better. So, hey, man, get it on. Houston, I hope Houston is on point and you brothers are waking up now as well. And you sisters, because we're going to need every living being, every Black soul. The shit real, man. The shit is real. Trust me. James, what it do, brother? James Cass says, peace, love, and respect, Brother Bub, man. I hope all is well with you, OG. Happy Tuesday, one. Likewise, brother, everything is everything. Like I say, man, for me and most of us, when we recognize what the reality is, it's a grand rising. You know, it's a grand rising, and I'm here 10 toes down. I'm happy with the fact, though, James, that I'm able to see you in this get down along with the rest of the brothers that's in this get down. I was asking a question about basically politics and race. Why is it that the Israeli government have a concern about Black youth being a problem to them? That I think that's worth the discussion. That's worth discussing. Why is that the Israeli government is worried about our youth over here? Why would they have an issue with us as a people? I think it's self-explanatory, but at the same time, again, it's worth conversation. It's worth dialogue, you guys. Raymond Williams, hey man, back to you. God bless you as well, bro. And I hope that you are well, like I do, everyone in the chat, like we all hope and wish for one another that we're alive and well, not just alive, but well, healthy. Our greatest wealth is our health, people. There's no greater wealth. Money can't look. Man, you got to have your health, man. You got to have your health. Some people with money, they try to make, pay for health. You know what I mean? They try to pay for health. That don't work. There's a lot going on with us as a people, again, especially in terms of our health, and not just our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health, our financial health, our political health, our social health, all that matters. It's all interconnected. It all related to some extent. All right. But our physical and spiritual and mental health, those are our riches. That's our wealth, y'all. That's our wealth. And as long as we got that, that can't be taken. That, once you have that, man, it's yours. It's yours. It's no one else's. I think people are trying to get hold, like I said last week, they're trying now to encapsulate our souls. They're warring for our souls. And I think that's part of this get out when Israel or the Israeli government want to, speak on the Black youth. I think that they see them as a threat, as most do. Shit, sometimes we see our own like that. But I think they see it as a threat, being that, see, here's the thing. Those in the streets, and y'all got to understand this idea, this concept about people, brothers and sisters in the streets. They truly are our front line. They are truly our front line. A lot of us think that they're unsavable, that, we won't be able to save them, that they're lost. We're in the wilderness, true that. But I think that to label them as lost, without, not ever being able to come home or find out we're home is a mistake. They know more about us than we know about ourselves. So them coming after or them speaking about our youth, that should, a red flag should go, our antenna should go up immediately when you have people talking like this about our youth. That's a red flag. They see something that we're not seeing. They're looking closer than we are at our own. That's a problem. We need to know, we need to look just as closely so we know how to understand, not just understand what's going on, but how to defend them if they come under attack. And believe you me, they are under attack. We see this stuff going on, man. This stuff is not going on. It's not coincidence. This is a planned get out. These attacks, man, are planned. They sat down and the think tanks are at work. They are at work. It's a whole lot going on, y'all, that we are not aware of, but we could be if we just allow ourselves to focus on the focus. That being said, you guys check, let me know what you think about that. And again, the chat GPT, that's something that it'll blow your mind when you guys hear, these woods asking this AI about black people and what the AI says in response. Blow your mind. And this is AI, and I'm willing to wager whoever created it did not consider or take in mind that it would speak such truth to power, because they made it, they probably thought that it would be, what's the word for it? Biased, you know? Just think about that. Think about that as something to consider. But the AI, Chat GPT, told them that we are the ones. A lot of us don't realize that. We go through a lot, and as we go through circumstances, we go through these issues, these situations, we struggle throughout our lives. We sometimes tend to think less of ourselves. I think that's an issue also within our people. But we have to understand the reason why we are in this situation and why we even got to the point where we would start to think less of ourselves, or why we would hate ourselves, pretty much. There's a lot at power. There's a lot at work against us. Facts, man. Facts. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about before there was crack cocaine or the crack cocaine epidemic era, there was the heroin epidemic or, issue. It was stronger than that. The word issue is just an understatement. It made me wonder though. I said, did anyone did anyone stop to think who came up with the idea to bring heroin into the inner cities the way they did in the 50s and 60s and 70s? And the response was, yeah, well, they did the movie The French Connection. I said, yeah, but that don't really, like after the crack epidemic, it was known that the CIA did what they did, trying to help some more people. This is why we had the crack epidemic, so they say. The same has to hold true for the heroin epidemic. Who was behind it? Trust me, there's somebody who was behind it specifically, be it a government agency or individuals. What was the plan? Why? Would they drop that, dis-ease and that scourge upon our people? For what reason? Again, that answer is probably self-explanatory. But the conversation went on to talk about how China had got caught up in the same situation, a couple of 100 years back with Great Britain, who supplied that, and who China, who, by the way, said, okay, man, this is doing too much damage and harm to our people, so we're going to stop this. And the British, I was about to say the East Indian Company probably had something to do with it, but the British was like, no, man, these are tax dollars. You're going to take these drugs. And that's when I think one of the wars was the Boxer Rebellion, where the people, resisted, opium addiction. It wasn't heroin per se, but there was an opioid addiction with the Chinese. As a result, they end up losing Hong Kong for 100 years, I think it was. But there's always somebody behind this stuff. So that was China and Britain. Who was it, or who was responsible here in the U.S. of A? That's what I would like to know. That's what I would like to know. Again, when you start addressing stuff, you get, you do it right, you go about it, you do your homework, your research correctly, shit start popping up, and you'll start seeing different players, so to speak. Again, same could be said, we know what happened with cocaine. At least that's the story they gave us. We don't know fully what happened with heroin. See, because it didn't come here just as opium, you know but someone's behind that. So cocaine is over. Cocaine is done. You know what I mean? The scourge, so to speak. What are they pushing on us now, people? What are they pushing now? Who knows? Can somebody put that in the group chat? What are they pushing now that have the people addicted? I think that's an easy one. I think that's an easy one. Okay, let's see what the group talking about up in this get down, man. Pope Mitch podcast. You said it, bub. You said it, bub. What is it that all races fear when it comes to black people? Period. All right, it's us waking up, and if our young ever be quick to waking up, it brings us close to our rightful evolution, and not just our rightful evolution, but our rightful place. Our rightful place. I think a whole lot would not only, we will evolve. I think mentally and spiritually we'll start to get back to where we're supposed to be. But in terms of, our own power, us wielding and exercising our own power, that's also something that, we should look forward to. Real spirit. The general blood, they must not be making money off us. So now we're a problem. Shaking my head. Well, or they may not be making enough. Got you. What else is there though? I think also for them, and when they speak about the youth, they're not just talking about in general, let's say, those in the streets, that segment of the youth, that demographic, the gang culture or whatever. I think they're talking about them as well as let's say our slightly educated or our educated youth, those who attend HBCs, historical black colleges, colleges in general, colleges period, those who support Black Lives Matter. I think with this push and with this knowledge that they have, they're starting to see a lot of things that, like I said previously, a few minutes ago, that are kept from our focus. They only feed us what they want to feed us. Now they're in tune. They understand the plight, for instance, the atrocities being done to the Palestinians, for one. That's something, and blacks we know being subjugated against. We know being discriminated against. We know being the attempts to try to kill us off. We know this stuff all too well. No other race knows it better than us. So I think that's part of the problem. Blacks getting a hold of what's going on over there and they're speaking out. See, because I think when blacks get their teeth in something, people stop to listen. They pay closer attention. You dig? See, now here's an example. Had we got involved with this immigration thing like others wanted us to, that would blew the lid off the thing. You feel me? Now, blacks becoming involved or having something to say or wanting to be involved with the genocide taking place over there in Palestine, that's a problem. That's a problem for those who are committing these atrocities. Again, when blacks get a hold of something, we know how to get the job done. We know how to get it done. So that could be it though. But yeah, the money making part, oh yeah, no doubt about that as well. No doubt about that as well. I don't disagree with you. John Brown said it was gifted to the Italians by our government. What are you talking about, John Brown? What was gifted? The heroin? Okay. And the fentanyl, I see. It was gifted to the Italians by our government. And then they brought it back in, huh? Did they grow heroin in Italy like that? I do my research, man. Me and my brother, we were talking about the cultivation of opium, especially at a time, let's say in the late 50s and 60s, even the 70s, while the Vietnam War was going on. Laos and Cambodia was supposedly cultivating a lot of that stuff, and a lot was coming back. Hey man, I just think that those people, man, they go out of their way, man, to try to find a way to bring us harm, to bring death to us. And again, this is common knowledge, man. They tried everything under the sun, except for drop, a nuke on us. You know, not yet. So imagine we wake up and we wake up and we wake up strong. We wake up with the, that will be the step. I, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. You remember that thing happened in Philadelphia? Was that Philly when they draw? What's that? Push or move? This black revolutionary group, man, where they dropped the bomb on the whole block. Was it push move? I forget the name of the group, but they dropped this bomb, man, and incinerated all the apartment buildings and killed people, man. So they'll drop a bomb on them. They'll drop a bomb on you quick. And then, with us, we wake up like we wake up our numbers, we come together. They not talking about no low yield, nothing. Well, it might be low yield just for the communities. They'll strike certain communities and shit, but I think they'll do that. I've seen it be going on a tangent, but I'm just talking about what they are capable of and what they'll do. So again, the Israelis see black involvement in their politics and the atrocities they are committing against the Palestinians as a problem. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is, because as most know, once black people focus on something, we see something that's not right, boom, we go at it. We address it, we attack it, we try to dismantle it. So that could be what they're talking about. I'm not absolutely sure, but it may have something to do with it. So John Brown did say it was gifted to the Italians by the U.S. government, as well as fentanyl. Lisa Moore, how you doing, sister? Peace to the queen. All right, good to see you in this get down. She said, peace and blessings, brother. Much love to the brothers and sisters in the chat. We want to start calling it the group now. But the chat is cool, If everybody's cool with that, I'm cool with it too. But hey, sisters, good to see you in this get out. We're doing like we do. I'm just having a basic conversation. We're touching bases with the people about those things that affect us, those things that make us think out loud, make us want to act, that inspire us to act. All right. Los Angeles Aboriginal persistence and legacy, OG, American fam, blacks. That's something else. I'm gonna touch on this. I saw something today. Listen, man, I said this before about this slave shit that they be talking about, bringing us over here from Africa and all this. Look, man, I said this before. I think that's some crap. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it didn't happen the way they saying that, man. One of the things that really make me question this stuff of their historical viewpoint is, where are the ships? One slave ship. Where? Anywhere in the world. Especially if you're talking about Spain, Britain, and America, Portugal, some of the main culprits. Where are the ships? Because they ain't had no conscience like that to say, well, let's get rid of these ships because in 100 years, we don't want to look back. Man, nah. Where are the ships? I think that's some crap. We were here, man. We were already here. And I'm telling you guys, man, well, I don't need to tell the group, man. The group know, educated, highly educated. There are pyramids here in the United States, and they try their hardest to hide them. One spot we cannot go and explore to the fullest is the Grand Canyon. That's one spot you cannot go with all your freedoms and everything else. You cannot take your black ass, your white ass, or any other ass you call yourself being part of America into. You cannot go to the Grand Canyon. However, there are certain spots. You have Tennessee, you have Colorado, you have these places. If people look closely enough, you'll see the structures. They exist. But I'm saying all that to say this. No, man, we were here. We were here. We were already here. But something transpired. Something happened to change whatever it was we had going on here to give them the power. I don't know what it was. I'm not able to put my finger on that just yet. But I bet $1 to a donut. We didn't. Some of us they probably did a turnaround. You know how brothers can relate to this. Well, we have in court, we in jail. They say, oh, yeah, you going over here to this court building way over in this other city, you know what I'm saying? But you don't go nowhere, you just do a turnaround. You know, they might drop you off, you know, in the holding tank shit, you know, while they pick them up and put you back on the bus, bring you back. You know what I mean? I think this is a possibility with us. Some of us will probably, just my opinion, some of us, not very many, came from Africa, you know, stopped by where the Caribbean, you know, and came here, boom, 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 took some here, boom, 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 you know, just placing them like pieces on the board. You know, took some from America, you know, took them to Africa, brought them back. So, oh, now we brought African slaves. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on, y'all. I bet you $1 to a donut. Not only I'm hitting the nail on the head, but I bet you the evidence is there. We just have to find it. That's it. But anyway, we were here, man. Talking about indigenous people, Native American. Hey, man, they don't want to say us. You know, and I'm not bashing nobody, man. You know what I mean? Those who think they were here before us, fine. That's fine. But I guarantee you there is a history, concise history, precise, in fact, not concise, precise history of us being here for anybody. All right. That's like the Aborigines. You know, next 100 years, you're going to have them Brits. Now, Australians telling people they were there first and they brought the Aborigines over from America. You know, it's lies they tell, man. But anyway, there they go, man. I've been saying this for a long time. I promise you guys, I've been saying this. This is nothing new to me, man. I just hate when they tell these lies and they think brothers and sisters are ignorant to the point of we don't understand not just what's in our DNA, but you know, our spirits, man. We know shit just because we know it's there. It's for us to know. You know, it's just, I don't know, shit. But yeah, there that is, man. All right, all right, all right. This is Touching Bases with the People. And this is Under the Groove, man, podcast, man, where we see no evil, we speak no evil, and we hear no evil. Our get down is above board, man. If you coming in this get down, you're coming here because you're probably tired of that other stuff. You should be. You should be. You know, it's not nothing, man, that we can talk about on these other get downs that's going to build us or make us better. Ain't paying no bills. You know, we're not, we're not getting no type of instruction anyway, any positive instruction or structure from those get downs over there, man. So I appreciate everybody here and other podcasters that you might frequent and pay homage to. So thank you again. We are Under the Groove podcast where we're above board with this get down. So yeah, the general said, and I said this door, the general blood said they must not be making money off us. So now we're a problem. Shaking my head. Can't get no realer than that, man. I read it again because I like to, real spit, man. Los Angeles Aboriginal said, persistence and legacy, OG American fam, blacks. John Brown said, yes. Polk said it has been about the color of our skin. Maybe the Jewish folk don't like the fact that some blacks align themselves with Arabs and like everything else, color be the separation. Mm-hmm. Well, look, man, let's just be 100. This is a fact, man. Look, well, you ain't got to take it from me. Research it. Look it up. Ain't no damn. Let me be careful. Listen, y'all. Ain't no way. All right? Just ain't no way. Ain't no way them Europeans can claim us, man, or claim to be us, or claim to be the chosen ones. No way, man. No way. No way. And I'm going to give you one example why. It's because the history is already before us. They told you what happened. how they even landed in Palestine so they can establish Israel. The British did that as well. You know, these people come out of Europe. When they research their ancestral line, all of them come out of Europe. Ain't none of them come out of Africa. Not none of them. North Africa, let alone North Africa, or what they call North Africa. These people are perpetrating a fraud, man. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, and they would go to any length to keep that fraud going. You know, that's what I think. John Brown says all kinds of tactics to eliminate us. Amen. And they got the new one now. I think social media is an addiction we have. You know, that's my opinion. But not, again, social media, you guys know what I'm talking about when we're talking about social media and what we see mostly about our young brothers and sisters, period. And there's no age difference, because I done seen a lot of old fools on social media, man. You know, and you ask yourself, you have to wonder, man, what the hell you want? You know, but I think social media is a drug. You know, I think it's a drug. You know how you use drugs and it rewire your brain? Alcohol does it also. I think, you know, when we, and I don't mean imbibe by drinking, but when we visually and audibly take in this stuff, man, it does something to us. So, you know, I think social media is the new drug. Just an opinion. Not in the traditional sense of drugs, but trust, it's a drug. It's a drug. John Brown said all kind of tactics to eliminate us. Real talk. Mr. Fantastic, he said it was Move. There, that's the group. Man, them brothers and sisters wasn't having no funnies. And guess what them people said? Okay, we just gonna blow this whole block up. Now what they did. Women and children in them buildings, man. This was what about 1980? 85. Dang. They did that in 85. Be that, you know, around then the cocaine era is up and running also. You know, but these brothers and sisters, they had a different mindset. They wasn't going for no BS. And them people dropped a bomb. It wasn't one apartment building, man. And if I exaggerate talking about the whole block, man, let's go look that up and see how big, how much damage was done to that street. How many apartment buildings, how many, you know, buildings were, you know, incinerated basically by this bomb. I say that to say again, if they'll do that in 1985, y'all can't put nothing past them, man. When we start to wake up, we got to understand why we waking up. And not only that, we have to understand that we're going to be in a war. We're going to be in a war, man. You know. Now that one would be for our existence. For our existence, man. I can just see it now, man. You got so many other of our kind, they'll be clamoring to go with them. Like, no, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. You know, I like my home. I like my money. I'm not with them. Forget them. Them some crazy ninjas. Always starting trouble. Like a real coon. Like a real old house ninja. You know? But yeah, anyway, yeah, again, I digress. Yeah, it was push, man. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks, Mr. Fantastic. Well, Ms. Fantastic said it was Move. Michelle Hall says it was push. I've named both. I'm not sure. It was Move. All right. Thanks, Mr. Fantastic. Yes, yes. Hey, y'all need to go check that one out, man. Mr. Woody, what it do? He said it was Move, bro. What it do? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Black all say Move in Philadelphia. That's right. Much love to the chat, y'all. This is what we do, man. We cooking, he said, man. Folks say we cooking. Hey, man, like, share, comment, subscribe if you see fit. But again, this is where we get down, man, with the get down. You know, this is where we attempt to focus on the focus, man, and all bullshit, all else that ain't above board, let's leave it alone, man. Let's leave it alone. If it ain't educating us, if it ain't giving somebody what they need in terms of some mental shit, some education, you're not gonna find it here, man, if it ain't what we're doing. right here, right now. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. Woody, man, I hope you're doing well, bro. Hope everything is everything, man. I laughed about. I saw you on Facebook. Said you went on the job interview and you had a little flatulence there. You know, and you say you don't want to blow the lady away when she came back in the room, but I'd like to know the outcome of that. Did her nose turn up, or what did you do? Did you lead the interview, homie? Come on, like, yeah, fuck this job. I'll get another one. No, but that got to be crazy, bro. That was funny though. I laughed like a big dog, bro. Yeah, Poke Mitchell podcast said much love to the chat. Y'all cooking. And likewise, man, you're part of the ingredient, man. This is why it's going to, it's above board, bro. Appreciate you and get out. Michelle Hall said, I stand corrected. It was always move. Okay, I see that's typo. 1985. All right. Man, much love right back to you, Mr. Fantastic. Appreciate you and get down, brother. That's a good look. Like I say, the support, man, is overwhelming. And we should look at it like this. It's not support for me. It's support for the chat, man. It's support for touching bases with the people. This is what it's about, y'all. So I can say I get excited just coming to see who's going to jump in, see if we get new faces, comments from those who don't normally comment, those things of that nature. It's exciting to me, man. And then just to see so many brothers and sisters on point, we know what's going on. Okay, we know what's going on, but again, when is enough going to be enough? When are we going to start mobilizing? For lack of a better term right now. When are we going to start unifying, man? We got a brother in Indianapolis, man. He like a job. We need to tap in with brothers in Indianapolis, Philadelphia, man. Like I say, all over, man. Because again, it's just not us. And we're just not, people in this chat, this group aren't just from LA. And again, that's a great indication that brothers and sisters are waking up now. Like I said, that's what excites me, man. I get that same feeling now, like, and I'm not, when I used to game bang and it was time to go in, I would be excited. I'm more excited now than I ever been, and it makes sense to me to be such, or to be this way, man. That's just me, man. Los Angeles Aboriginal says, yeah, y'all peace to the move, fam. We not ready for no aerial attacks. You better believe it. Our black military ain't got no air force. No, you're right, man. You're right. But it's always, where there's a will, there is a way. All right? You got to know that, bro. You have to know that where there is a will, there's a way. And sometimes we can't let the fact that what we think to be a superior force deter or, dissuade us from, standing up regardless, As long as they making drones and all kind of other shit, man, look at that. I think that, it doesn't even the playing field of the airfield. But hey, man, I'm just saying, when you're getting down on that stage, it's a whole lot of things, brother. It ain't just what they say. What they say is what dominates, any field. You know what I mean? It's the minds that create, the ideas that help to dominate the fields. There's no mind stronger than ours. There is, look, hey man, shoot. I don't know. I might be, I don't know, just romanticizing. I don't know. But I tend to think that we can overcome anything, bro. We have. We continue to. We continue to. I get what you're saying, though. And I respect that because that's valid in a lot of respects. It makes me think about all the Black Wall Streets, or Black Wall Street in particular, how they bombed them from the air. They had everything together, man. They had their financial base set up, education base set up, their society was tight. They didn't have a military. They didn't have one plane. They didn't have one anti-aircraft gun, So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Facts. Something to think about. Hmm. You go on to say, Los Angeles Aboriginal go on to say, Slav ships is when the European migrants came to America. Oh, okay. Well, slave ships is when the European migrants came to. Okay, I get your point. Yeah, yeah. Ellis Island, landing over there, shoot, you can even say Plymouth Rock on the Mayflower, but I get your point. I get your point. Slave ships is when the European immigrants came to America. Get your point, bro. And thank you, mediator, for that. Because I'm looking at it as European Slav, because that's what they are. They're Slavs. Okay, good point though, bro. Hoover Snipe, man, 5'9" Hoover. Why? First Nation people, man, you got to know it, man. And again, this is what we trying to establish, not establish. We just like to inform the people, man. Nobody's first. No what? Well, let me reiterate that. Nobody came before us, anywhere, anywhere throughout the history of mankind and human beings, man. Nobody. What a lot of them don't understand is the microbial DNA of a black woman. The first black woman is in every woman. I don't care what race she calls herself. She has black DNA. Same go for men. There's the matriarchal and the patriarchal DNA. The woman's DNA is just the sister's DNA, just ongoing, ongoing, ongoing. Whereas a man's DNA, you can end his bloodline. You know what I mean? You can end his bloodline. I was just reading on this today, and I was shocked to learn that. But it makes sense. So me being a dad, having a son who has a son, for instance, if my grandson, once I'm gone, my grandson goes away, that line gone. You know what I mean? It's gone because of a certain DNA that we don't have, the Y chromosome, I think it is. But because a woman, the first woman was a black woman, her DNA is passed to every woman on the face of the earth, man. Every last one of them has that DNA strand. I was just reading on it, and it was a new read for me. It was my first time catching that, but I absorbed enough to understand what the hell they were saying. So, but they said it. They went on to say, "There's no way in the world, nowhere in the world, man, that them people or any people came before us. They all come from us. They all come from us, and facts. They even admit that, begrudgingly, but they admit it. Yeah." First Nation people, man. John Brown, Mound Bayou. And that's Louisiana, huh? They have some in Louisiana? The mound builders. And, they call them pyramids, but they're all over Africa. They're all over the United States. They're all over South America. Well, come on, man. Um, I would even wager uh there's a building in Japan. I forget the name of the building, but the structure is not in terms of how it's built. It's not necessarily a pyramid form, but it reminds me of a pyramid. I forget the name of them buildings. They call oh my god. Oh, can you get that for me? It's on the tip of my tongue. Japanese structure of buildings that they in Japan. More historical buildings. Oh my god, on the tip of my tongue, man. I hate when I forget some shit. I'll do it real quick. Japanese historical Japanese buildings. No, 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 no. Yeah, I should have said some more concise than that because they didn't give me a gang. Huh? Mm, But I'm looking at some pictures now. I'm telling you, they're reminiscent of pyramids, the way they built. They're reminiscent of pyramids, for so-called pyramids, though. No, 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 no. This none of them. Ah, not Dojo.
Yamagami monuments
Huh?
refers to Yamagami monuments. Is that it?
No, it'll come to me. But anyway, those buildings, those structures remind me the old ones from back in the day when the shogun, was in effect, doing their thing. Those buildings just remind me of pyramids. The structures do, and let it be known that blacks were their best shoguns. Let them tell it. Blacks wasn't even shoguns. But hey. But yeah, Who Snipe says mound builders. John Brown also said mound in the bayou. Okay, Miss Fantastic. Thanks, bro, man. Likewise, bro. Thank you. Los Angeles Aboriginal says Mississippian mound builders, the Western Hemisphere, Americas, have more than Africa. Nah, I didn't know that. Because I know so-called Egypt is not the only place where you can find mounds or pyramids. But I know, I think Tennessee, Mississippi, places like that have them also. I didn't know that though. Anyway, he goes again. I'll read it. Mississippian mound builders, Western Hemisphere, the Americas, that would include South America, have more than Africa. We started here, then went east and west to Africa and Cambodia, etc. Thank you. Thank you. We were everywhere. Who's not saying we were everywhere. Facts. Man, we need to, again, man, I don't know. How do we get uh, our people to appreciate not just where we come from, man, but what we contributed to, civilization, man, just period. How do we get them to look at that, understand that, man, appreciate it, to accept it, and then, start to live accordingly, you know? I'm talking to you guys, but I swear in my mind, I'm trying to remember the name of this building in Japan. I can't let it go. But anyway, yeah, man, I want to read this one right here. Jabarni says, Big bro, that is the conversation right now, my brother Bub. I've been to the slave castle in Ghana. That place is real, where they had our people in numbers to get shipped off to this side. Hmm. Yeah. Again, I was checking something out, and again, like I said, a couple of things I read today that kind of like, whoa, really? What we just discussed a few minutes ago about how they would use a revolving door with our people. They'll take them to the Caribbean, drop them off, take some to Africa, drop them off, come back to America, get some more, put them on ship, take those to the Caribbean, pick up the ones they left, go to Africa, to the ones from drop them off in Africa, the ones they dropped off in Africa, pick them back up, bring them back. And this is where they get the term, okay, these are African slaves. I'm not disputing that, but I get what you're saying. Um, I cannot let that go. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. But yeah, that's a good point, though. I'll read it again. Jabarni said, Big bro, that is the conversation right now. My brother Bub, I have been to the slave castle in Ghana. That place is real, where they had our people in number to get shipped off to this side. Wouldn't doubt it, bro. Wouldn't doubt it one bit. Hoover Snipe, man, going to say this is our world. We're indigenous to all lands. I would include, no doubt about that. Los Angeles Aboriginal says, shaking my head down the wayside. Once you were in prison, enslaved in their settlement, then we became all their misnomers. Yeah, they start giving us these names and stuff, man. These identities, and yeah, they did that. Jabarni goes on to say, but our people inhabit the whole earth. We are the children of the sun. There's no one like us, man. There's no one like us. I think when what's his name? Kendrick Lamar dropped that song, I think that song was felt, man, by every black person. But it wasn't necessarily politicized. I think had he could have put heat to that song for real. But the point he was making was so just obvious, obvious. You know, they not like us. Now you have people who ain't like us talking about they not like her. You know, like they, then took the song and attached to themselves like, okay, we not like y'all. How that's our shit. There's no one like us. We are the people of the sun, no doubt about that. We are, and again, that would, I think, um, validate to some extent the saying that or a lot of us acknowledge it, a lot of us, a lot of people say it, that not of us, we are the chosen one. You know, you know, whoever created all that we know, that includes the sun, chose us. With that you got to look at it like being blessed, being fortunate, being looked upon in a high regard. You know what I mean? No one else, no one else, just us. Pagona. I told you I wasn't gonna let that go. I was not gonna. Uh, Pagona. I think it is. What is a Japanese structure called a pagona? I, I think. I think that's it. I'm not sure. No, 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 no. I'm not. I'm not pronouncing it right now. Pagoda. Pagoda. No, that's not it. Uh, I'm getting. Okay. Jabarni did say, but our people inhabit the whole earth. We are the children of the sun. Real spit, man. Truth to power. Awa and hallelujah. Snipe. And touching bases with the people. Who's nice said, but these were the first lands out of the waters, the first nation people. We marked this world first. Facts. Facts. And not only that, everything comes from us in terms of human beings, Homo sapiens, and even again to some extent Neanderthals, and some like to still call themselves Neanderthals, and shit. Might have a little Neanderthal DNA in them, but they don't exist anymore. Pagoda. Was it a pagoda? There you go. Pagoda. All right, let me see. That's the structure anyway. And trip, man, the meaning of it is a building, but pagodas symbolize, and I was talking about a pagoda. In my mind, it to me it reflected not a mound per se, but a pyramid, But I found it came back up. Pagodas symbolize spiritual growth, the Buddha's teachings, and the connection between heaven and earth. Where Buddha come from? Just asking, I'm just asking. Their tiered structure represents spiritual ascension and the various stages of the spiritual journey toward enlightenment, with each level often symbolizing the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, or the three jewels of Buddhism. Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, you could say the same for pyramids. They hold or they house certain spirituality. Hmm. Anyway, so got that out of my chest, man. That boy, I was locked onto that one. I wasn't gonna let that go. So appreciate you people. Appreciate everybody for being patient. I know I was thank you. Got it, dog. Poke Mitchell podcast. Poke Mitchell said, man, what do you think, Bub? A lot of the slave ships were pirate ships. What kind of ship was built for a big load? A lot of pirate ships were, I think, I want to say schooners. But I could be wrong there. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, enlighten me, Um, When the Brits, when the Admiralty, when they was running the sea, the oceans, the British, in terms of their ships, I think a lot of them ships were they schooners? And I think a lot of them got passed down to so-called pirates. You know, I think a lot of the pirates worked for the East Indian Company, who had the backing of the British Navy. His Royal Majesty is his Navy, man. I think it's Royal Majesty or whatever. Huh? It was a schooner, and those were ships big enough to bring back gold and spices and people. You know,
Amistad was a Cuban schooner.
it was a schooner.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, a Damastad, right? You know, but again, okay, where's that ship? Made a movie about it. Where the hell is it? You know, but yeah, Pope. So you asked, what do you think, Bub? A lot of slave ships were pirate ships. What kind of ship was built for a big load? My answer to that was a schooner. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I find that funny. I would know that, but tell you, homie, a lot of y'all know we do a lot of reading. A lot of us do a lot of reading, but I'm pretty sure that they use schooners. Like for instance, a lot of the flagships for Spain that ran ashore, ran up against the rocks, and lost at sea. I think some of those schooners as well. I could be wrong, but I know the ship had to be big enough to carry the weight of the gold that they were stealing, from Africa, from South America, or from wherever they went, looting, raiding, pillaging, killing, native people. The ships had to be big enough, man, not just to carry the crew and to carry, foodstuffs and, all the things that they needed, cannons and, cannonballs and gunpowder. They needed it for people. They needed it for precious metals. The ship had to be that big. It had to be big enough to do that, make them journeys, back and forth. So yeah, that's what kind of ship I think it was, though, Pope. Who is that? This look like a new person in this get down. And it said Dewey Stack a lot. I hope I said that right, brother. Dewey Stack a lot. Do he stack a lot? Wordplay. I love when brothers and sisters getting there with their word, man. The words, man. Don't nobody do it like us. I'm telling you. Dewey Stack a lot. That's the name. Hey, man. Peace back to you, bro. He said, I would like to ask when and who will be your next interview. I have a couple of sisters who are very much involved in the community, man, and these sisters are stumped down, intelligent. Their daily lives, I think their lives are dedicated to the betterment of our community. I thought it was wise that we bring these sisters on here to speak about what their involvement in the community is, not necessarily or per se about how they came up in the community. All right. I think what they're doing now it weighs more. That needs to be addressed. That needs to be spoken about more than was you from here, was you from there, did you grow up with Wooter Wham? No, 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 no. So that would be my next interview, and it's soon. I also had I have a request to come on the show from another brother. See, we got it's so many of us men, and we do so many different things. I have a brother want to come on this get down. This brother's a cowboy. This brother's a medal winning, cowboy, young brother, you know, um, younger than me, probably maybe older than some of you. But not only is he involved in that and he's good at what he do, his daughter is also involved in that and she's good at what she do. I thought that would be something different, man, to bring to the people. Again, there's a transition taking place here on Under the Groove podcast. That's not to say I would not bring former members, even, it depends, active members, only when and if they're coming to discuss not necessarily, the plight of the people, but what can be done to help the people, from the situation we're in. I don't necessarily think that bringing brothers and sisters up here to talk about the gang lifestyle is, I don't think it's constructive. That's just me. That's not to say that brothers who've been on here before won't be back. I just had a conversation with a couple of brothers. They want to come back. We're gonna come back. We're gonna chop it up. That would include Miz. That would include C-Rab, man. That would include some of my homies. You know what I mean? Other brothers from other sets, man. That's something we're gonna do. But I would, I wouldn't want anyone to expect for the interviews to go the way they did initially, where we're talking about and we didn't actually delve into gang activity. Let's be 100. We didn't do that. So yeah, we'll ask brother, what community, if they feel comfortable talking about what community they came from, man. That's permissible. That's cool. All right. But to answer your question, I have like I said, a sister. I'm not gonna give her name up right now. She know who she is, and welcome to the chat. Um, she's gonna come on, and we're gonna, I anticipate a great conversation. I anticipate a great conversation with this sister, straight up. All right. So I hope Dewey Stacklight, I hope that answers your question. All right. And you go on to say you have another comment. And are you going to interview some Damus from your era? Thank you for your contribution and content. I would like to, absolutely. Damn, man, I run into Damus all the time, man. I know a few out of Inglewood. I know a few out of Watts. A couple of 20s I met, man, last year. Brothers were tight. I would love to have a Damu's perspective on Under the Groove podcast, man. Straight up, man. I would love to include those brothers, our brothers, in this conversation. I think that's concrete, man. I think that's constructive. I think that makes it all inclusive. All right. So yeah, man. To answer your question, yeah, yeah, yeah. I really would. I will. Not I would. I'm gonna put that in the atmosphere. I will interview Damu brothers, blood brothers, to come on Under the Groove podcast if they're so inclined. All right. There that is. Rashawn Davis said she came back in there, sat down, and looked at me like, you MF. Did she grab some air freshener or what? Did she act like she was hot, having the flash start fanning? Get this stink out of my face. Boy, you crazy. You crazy. Only Woody. All right, Soldier Denise Williams. All right, peace and blessings, sister. How are you today? All right. She says, good to be here with you all. It's good to have you here with us as well, sis. It really is. We appreciate you in the space. We appreciate you in the face. This is where you get down with the get down at y'all. And the focus is on the focus. Focus is us. Don't nobody get it twisted, man. The focus ain't nothing but us, man. That's where it should be. Us, on us. That's it. And just so I had a few t-shirts made too. Now mentioning that, let me say this. And I gotta say this in all due respect to my brothers and sisters. So me and our family, we're the mind where we want to spend our dollars with our people. All right, real spit, man. And we we work at looking for those people to buy from, to buy products from that are us. So anyway, long story short, we go to an establishment, and there's a brother there, African brother. Say, hey man, this is well, first my wife went, and I ended up going the next day. Anyway, shit wasn't ready. Here's a brother doing business, and you had too many excuses, man. So I'm saying this to the people, man. Hey, man, it's a business, and you're in it. Why are you in it? You have to know why you're in it. And if you understand why you're in that business, then that means, man, that's a priority, you know, and you don't want to leave no stone unturned in your business. You want your customer, who that patron, to leave your establishment with, you know, some good tidings to somebody else about your get out. You know what I mean? I want to be able to go and say, man, on this platform, say, hey man, go check out Whoop the Whoop Whoop. He on point. Can't do that. Can't do that. Because I don't want nobody upset with me, because I was upset. Like, hey, brother, come on. Come on. This is what, see, we have to, these are some of the issues we have to deal with about us. People say, oh no, they don't never get done, and they too high, or they ain't never on time, or oh the product was second rate, third rate. Know what you're doing is another thing. Because if I ask you about something and I want to do business with you, trust and know I researched it. I know what the price should be, that range. I know how that product's supposed to look, or you know what I mean? Not only that, but when I come in your get out, I want to know that I'm in a business where brother takes pride in what he's doing. He means it, he's trying to build it. So therefore, I'm going to support him to the fullest. But know your stuff, man. Know that you have a business to run. That's it, man. That's it. Make it with brothers and sisters. Okay, man, I'm giving them, it might be $5 more, but look at the quality. Look at what it's good. He know his shit. I'm gonna give you that $5, bro. Not only that, I'll be back. You my guy now. Yeah. When I think, hey, where you get that? Hey man, I got that from woo to woo woo. You might got you a few dollars more, but hey man, support the brother. It's good work. I wouldn't give a damn what it is we're talking about. Machine repair, car repair, painting, whatever we decide. Hey man, we got to go at this. I'm telling you, man, because we are being tested, not just by others, but each other. That, for me, that was a test. I know where I want to spend my money. I know who I want to spend my money with, but I'm not no fool. Moms used to say, you get what you pay for. That's ambiguous. It has a couple of meanings, you know what I mean? Now, if I'm willing to buy some shit or deal with an individual that ain't got the business ain't, but I'm gonna deal with you anyway, that's a problem. I'm getting what I paid for. Now, if I'm getting a product from an individual, and like I said, it's $5 more, but the quality is good, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm getting quality shit from a business that's up to par. So that, okay, let me go. I don't want to keep you on and on and on. But that's what I would like to say to the brothers and sisters out there. If you want to run a business, man, run the business. Run it right. Make it better than anything around you. That part, man. So there that is. All right. So yeah. It's good to be with you too, Soldier Denise. It's a pleasure to have you in this get out. All right. Julius Trollinger. Bub, have you thought about doing another interview with Lil Jon from Nine Deuce? Yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought about it. In fact, everyone that I've done an interview with, it wouldn't be. I would think it would be good to bring them back on and let's see um, what has evolved, what has changed, what has taken place since the last interview. I think that would be a good look. That's the homeboy. I give him a call and I'll say, hey man, you think about coming on the show again? See what he say. I can't do nothing but ask him. But yeah, that would be a good look. In fact, shit, I think we did talk about that last time I spoke or last time I seen him. Yeah, I'll check it out, man. Julius, I'll check that out. Los Angeles Aboriginal say LSU University has a mound on it with a placard explaining history. A placard, a little sign or whatnot, explaining the history of it. I'm gonna have to go research that. Can you look at that? Can you look that up? LSU. It has a mound on it with a placard explaining its history. All right, John Brown back. John Brown said Mound Bayou Mississippi Poverty Point in Louisiana. Mound Bayou, Mississippi Poverty Point in Louisiana. Rashawn Davis can, mitochondrial, excuse me. It's almost like mitochondrial, but yeah, mitochondrial. I get you, Woody. Thanks, bro. Like I said, I just ran across that. I mean, it's funny how, again, a lot of things not coincidence, but a lot of things happen for a reason. I just happened to stumble upon that, man, and I went and did the, 25 minutes dealing with that. My whole lunch was gone. I was through with it, but anyway, I appreciated being exposed to that though, Woody. It's a good look. Mr. Fantastic goes on to say Sudan has the most pyramids in the world, anywhere from 200 to 255 pyramids. So that would not necessarily contradict what the brother said earlier about the most being in the Americas. It's just something to look into, and let's see if we correct about that, But hey, Mr. Fantastic, that's a good look. Appreciate that knowledge, man, or that reference right there. It's a good look. Frederick Hazaby, man, what it do? How you been, bro? How has it been with you? Salute right back to you. He said, this is excellent banter. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you always in this get out. All right. I haven't seen Al, you guys. I haven't seen Al yet. Al doing that football, man. He with Young King. So yeah, stay on that. Stay on that as you should, bro. Next up and coming. That little brother gonna be ready, man, when he touch down, man. When he's out in the world, he's gonna be ready. He's gonna be ready. Yeah, man. I appreciate that though, Frederick. Yeah, man. We try to keep it above board here. You already know how it go, bro. Appreciate you. John Brown going to say an anthem like James Brown. Say it loud. I'm like, hey, thank you. So I don't know. I think I mentioned this last week, man, about a new intro. Again, man, it's a transition taking place, people. A new intro and outro for Under the Groove podcast. I got at my brother, man, out of New York, who did the first and second intro, the intro and outro on the original intro and outro. I told him my idea. I explained to him what it was. It not just in terms of the music, but the visual as well. And you're hitting the nail on the head with that, what you just suggested about James Brown. Yeah. Yeah. I got, yeah. My. I wish I knew how to put that stuff together. I would write a cool intro or compose one. Huh? All right. Yeah. Appreciate that, John Brown. Sharp Spear. Peace, Elder Bub, and the Get Down 100, man. Hey, likewise, it's reciprocated, bro. Love to have you in the Get Down. Love to see you come back, man, and join us. It's a pleasure always. Always, bro. And I like your name, Sharp Spear. We got to start using spears again. Little spear chucker. That's what they used to try to call us. It's accurate and deadly with them things, though. Los Angeles Aboriginals say, yeah, we the great architects. Buddha from South America, from Central America, Mayan and corn is big with them Asian and Hindu gods. There you go. There you go. Our history is worldwide, man. Our mark, our fingerprint, our footprint is worldwide, man. I don't care where you go on this planet, on this ball, worldwide. Frederick Hazaby goes on to say, maybe they don't know Buddha original depictions were charcoal color. A black man, basically. Yeah, but what's cold is I just saw something the other day. Damn, it's crazy because I'm always I'm absorbing a whole lot. I want to make sure I say this right, and not to offend anyone, but just to say what should be said. All the religions come from us. The depictions of the Hinduism, all that were black. You go to India, man, and it's crazy how the Dravidians in India look like the Aborigines in Australia, or so-called Australia, you know, Africans in Africa, so-called Americans in America. But they're kind of worse off over there. They have a caste system, and I don't know if you guys know this. The darker you are over there, the more shit you go through. Excuse my language, but they have a caste system that was, again, Britain. Great Britain got its footprint and fingerprint on everything that's messed up around the world. They created that over there. That caste system. I think if I remember my reading my lessons correctly, it had a lot to do with that. But yeah, man, they didn't know Buddha's original depictions were done in charcoal color. But just say it like it is, brother. So it's what they use charcoal because they have paint? No, it's the nose, everything, man. They changed Buddha, man, over the centuries, man, the millennium probably. How long has Buddhism been? Even I'm thinking about all the religions, and trust, man, they all came from black people. Confucianism, Buddhism, the other one I just said, Hinduism, all of them basically, come from us.
Buddhism originated in India over 25,000 years ago.
How?
Over 25,000 years ago.
I don't know about that, but okay. 2,500 or 25,000? Okay, 2,500 years ago. You said 25,000, like, I don't know about that one. Hold on. Frederick Hadsby, man, he says maybe they don't know. Okay, I just read that one. You did it twice, and I appreciate that, bro. All right. Maybe they don't know Buddha's original depictions were charcoal color. Truth to power right there. Los Angeles Aboriginal went on to say, Spain also used them big ass ships to take the silver and natural resources from America to Europe. Of course, again, the ships, if I'm correct, were schooners. That ship, like I said, was built to carry heavy loads. It could be not just the food stuff for the sailors and stuff. It had to also be able to carry back things that they pillaged and stole from other lands and other people. Gold, silver, cattle, you know what I mean? Livestock, not cattle, but livestock. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole lot, man. People. Like I said, the ship had to have armaments, cannons and stuff, cannonball, all that stuff, man. So the ship had to be able to carry that weight, bro. Facts. It had to. Had to be able to float under all that weight. He said, where's that ship? That's what I said, folks. These people, man, we got to watch these people because they'll tell us some stuff. And sometimes because we don't know no better, we're not educated as we should be. Again, that's our fault, but that was the system that was in play. They educated us on what they wanted us educated on. Had we been educated by our own, in terms of our history and who we are, where we come from, they wouldn't be able to put wool over our eyes like that, man. But I always say, and I've been bugging my wife with this for years. Where's the damn ship? I just want to see one ship, man. I just want one ship. One ship. They know how to preserve and mothball everything else since the dawn of time, damn near. But they don't have one ship. They have an African ship from Aquabulan, they call it Egyptian. A reef ship, man, this thing is thousands of years old. But you mean tell you ain't got one slave ship? Or so-called, come on, man, get out of here. Something ain't right. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's move on. Keep going. Y'all leave me alone with that. All right. Sharpspear says slave ships were usually cargo ships, schooners, or smaller and faster. Yeah, I think they had different sizes, but yeah, that's fair, man. That's fair. Poke Mitchell says, we know that the ships were definitely made out of oak wood. Sharpspear going to say Napoleon used 300 to 400 ships to carry approximately 15,000 people to invade Egypt in 1798. None of those ships exist today. Hmm. Yeah, that's when they landed and shot the nose off the Sphinx, so to speak. That's when they got there. I think that's when all that took place. So funny though, he can do that, but he go up against Haiti, and Haiti held him off. You know, Haiti was his downfall. Haiti was his downfall. He couldn't conquer that island full of black people. Hmm. Man, I tell you something. They ain't shit. They ain't had no ships. These were ex-slaves. Come on, man. We ain't got one plane. Don't mean they gonna kick our ass. We just got to know how to defend against that type of shit. Anyway, excuse me, y'all. Los Angeles Aboriginal goes on to say America's has more than Sudan and Africa, Mr. Fantastic. Sudan has more than Egypt. And he's talking about mounds or pyramids, people. So y'all, yeah, that's good. That's healthy. Had that debate, man. That discussion. I'd like to know. All right, the tweak ends here. What it do? Salute right back to you. Glad to see you back in the chat. He says that Under the Groove podcast and chat. Love having you here, brother, as always. Whoa, my. Mr. Gregory Jordan. That's my guy, y'all. That's my guy. This is and I'm not saying nothing crazy, but I go to war with this brother. I don't care if it's night or day. You all right? It could be the apocalypse. And man, I'm going with him. We going together. We already know the business. Man, this is my brother, man. It's glad to see you in the chat, man. Appreciate you for that, bro. Love you. He goes on to say it's a known fact that Mansa Musa sent over 200 ships to the Americas hundreds of years before Columbus was even born. Truth to power, man. Truth to power. Me and this brother used to sit up with every book written on politics and history. I can't tell you how many books and knives we had. And I had to throw that in there because this is me and my guy, man. This is my bro, man. You know what I'm talking about, man. Love you, man. I appreciate you in the get down, bro. Appreciate you in the get down. Hope all is well as well. Poke Mitchell goes on to say, it wouldn't be right if I didn't give a salute to your queen, bub. You guys are a hell of a team. Well, you know, I need some help with this TV situation. You know, this thing is getting out of hand, man. It got me watching stuff I would never watch, man. But hey, I love my baby, man. I love my baby, man. That's a fact. You know, my hat is off to her. You know what I mean? That's my girl. That's my queen. You know, that's my queen right there. You know, I can't say nothing. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you recognizing, paying homage to the queen, bro. Appreciate you for that, man. You got a good one as well, man. To donate all them books, man, that's something. You know, them books could have went somewhere else, you know, other than giving to us to donate and hand out, man. So you have a special woman yourself. Yeah. Los Angeles Aboriginal, man. He say, hey, AN's here. Where can I find? Okay, there you go. Y'all had that conversation, but that's what I like about the chat, man. About the group. Okay. Okay. He also goes on to say, Los Angeles Aboriginal says Mansa got all that from his big brother who came over here and got all that gold and stayed, but sent some to Mansa. Who was his big brother, LA? Okay, we gonna Mansa Musa was, and as everybody knows, the richest man alive. I wonder, does that hold true even today in today's terms of money and monetary wealth? Excuse me. Did let's say, for instance, would he be a trillionaire today? Would he be a billionaire? You know, more than likely a trillionaire, huh? Look at you. Okay, yeah, I would like to know who that is, who his brother, who Mansa Musa's brother was or is. Okay, Pretty Boy Love 02. Okay, he says, hold Hold on, dang, how did I lose that quick? All right, here we go.
Sooner than a month.
Pretty Boy Love '02 said Powernomics by Claudia Anderson. Notice group economics is black power. See, I tell y'all, I was just checking something out today, and the game was how to utilize the group's economics to create a bank. You could do it with your family. You could do it, somebody you trust, your loved ones, your homie, your homegirls, brothers like yourself, sisters like yourself. You create your own bank, and through that, you create wealth for the whole car or the whole group. If you do it accordingly or correctly, federal government can't do nothing about it, can't touch it, can't regulate it, or anything else. Um, yeah, I actually kept it. I want to send that link. Matter of fact, there are going to be a couple of links before we go that I'm gonna put into the chat for y'all to check out. One is for the job at LA Metro, and then there's this link I want you guys to get in terms of what the brother's talking about. Pretty Boy Love '02 Powernomics by Claudia Anderson. That's also a reference he's getting. I'm going to include on the reference by including a link. But he says, group notice, group economics is black power. Couldn't have said it better myself. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. Let me find it. I got this guy right here. I'm going to put this link in there. Okay, make that. Oh, I got a couple of them. Oh, here you go. Here we go. I think we should all clear. Okay, now what's the link? I'm gonna send this to you, Fathead. That way I can. Got it. Oh, that's a long ass link. I'm gonna put it in there though. And it's speaking about what the brother's talking about right here. Pretty Boy Love '02 about powernomics and black power being, I think, the foundation in terms of our economic strength. Economic strength, economic power is black power. Put it like that. So appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Hoover Snipes says the Americas has the most pyramids the Americas has the most pyramids, mountains, pyramid lake pyramids all around Mississippi, mounds, all around it. We have pyramids and mounds all around us. I'm gonna read it one more time, and I'm sorry to have butchered that, but okay, here we go. The Americas have the most pyramids, mount pyramids, pyramid lake, pyramids all around Mississippi, mounds all around it. We have pyramids and mounds all around us. I can attest to that. Like I say, I just fell across some stuff today where I didn't know Colorado had pyramids. I didn't know that. Utah, I didn't know that. I knew about Mississippi and I think Tennessee, but I didn't know they had that. I understood something about the Grand Canyon. They say if you just pay close attention, you'll see it in the Grand Canyon. I saw something where someone was flying a drone nearby or something like that, and I don't know, it looked like an entrance, man, to a pyramid or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was fascinating just to see it. But yeah, they're all over, not just the Americas, man, but I think they're all over the world. A lot of them are hidden, a lot of them are kept from public knowledge, but they exist. All right, Poke say focus on the focus. I'm gonna need one of them, bub. Focus on the focus, man. Yeah, man. I should have them tomorrow. Yeah. Well, I'll be wearing them Thursday on. But this shit, man. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro. I'm gonna go into another spiel about again, us having our shit together, but it's all good. We already had that discussion. Los Angeles Aboriginals say, yeah, we got to be professional and keep equality and keep quality. Everything that exists, we got to create a black version / business for. Powernomics are important. Real spit, man. I mean, if we're gonna go into business, man, we got to go into business understanding that there are people already in this space who probably doing a lot of business. But you know, we're coming, hey man, we're here now. You know, you're doing it like that. I'm gonna do it like this. You know, I'm gonna elevate it. I'm gonna improve on it. I'm gonna get your customers. You know, especially if they my people. You know, this is how I look at it. But yeah, we have to. Yeah, we gotta be professional and keep quality. Everything that exists, we got to create a black version or / business for. Powernomics are important. The Tweakins here said that Los Angeles Aboriginal. Okay, yeah, that's you guys. Okay, all right, go and do y'all thing, man. Page to clean. One quick question. Go right ahead, man. Go right ahead. You know, insert your question in the comments. Keep it above board. Everything's respectful here, bro. But you're more than welcome to comment. Hoover Snipe says there are black islanders that are not Africans. That's right. He goes on to express that copper, steel, gold, corn, they were starving over there. Yeah. In Europe, yeah. Yeah. And by the time they got to selling the oceans, explore what they call exploring or navigating the seas, they were just coming out of the Black Plague. They were in the Dark Ages, man. You know, medieval times, and they were still sleeping with pigs and shit. You know, goats and shit in the living room with them. They were going through a whole lot, man. Whole lot. Los Angeles Aboriginal says the wood that Noah made the ark from is from Florida area. Yeah, because they're saying, and just you know, go on and relate and share with the people what we're really saying or what you guys are implying that the Americas is the real land, a homeland of you know us Africans. This is the real Africa. You know that the real Akubu land is here. It's not on the continent of what they call Africa. You know, so yeah, wouldn't doubt it, man. But and they do say this. So Frederick, it's not a contradiction. Frederick Hasby says, civilization came out of Africa. All right. Hmm. Man, they sitting there popping knowledge. Gopher wood, only grown in Florida. Only grows in Florida. Shit, I didn't know that. Shit. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, books and knives, bro. Yeah, Frederick, books and knives. You know, that was for Gregory. You know, my celly man for a long time, man. We had every man. We had so many books that you know. Okay, but the books were for loved ones, not just homies. Anybody black wanted to read a book. Our cell was like a library, you know. And it got to the point where some people come by the sale to get books. The pigs got mad, you know, and it's all right, man. You know, there's certain rules, stipulations. You can only have so many books. We had in excess of 100 books. Say, yeah, you can only keep 30. You know, you were no big things. Gather the books up, put them in big ass laundry bags, them fishnet, them mesh bags, down the 4 building, down the 3 building, on the other side of the yard. You know, just pass the books out to the homies, man. Lend the books out, let the brothers get the books. You know, so you know that was a situation where we saw, okay, we were becoming more politicized, political also. You know, a lot of homies know. You know, it's no mystery. You know, the cell was done up with the black fist inside the star, red, black, and green. You know, red rag, black rag, green rag, and the cell was hooked up. You know, all our martyrs. You know, all our political leaders. You know, the stumped down ones. And then hey Gregory, I know you remember this. That one pig with two of them, Matheny and I forget that other dude name. Trashed the sale, man. And then they end up leaving the yard though, you know. That shit had me hot. Like, man, fuck it, we gonna get it on, man. We gonna get it on. But they end up transferring to another yard, right? You know, for we can plot on them. But the broad, we should have got her. We had a chance to get her, but they saved her. You know, some of them COs were cool. I'm just telling a brief story right here. Some of them were cool in that they respected individuals that have, you know, carried themselves a certain way. Cool to the point where they knew, well, one of them knew it finna knock, you know, CO down. And, you know, and you know, came, got her, and she at first she resisted, and he gave her this look and physically grabbed her into the rotunda. And we looked at each other like, you know, boom. And so we're not thinking, okay, dude, he finna. So we already, whoever come, we just gonna get with it. That's how we were thinking. Just so happened, he, you know, boom, he got her out the building. Well, he took her. She didn't work the building that day, and he came back. He said, hey, man, hey, Wash, man, look, man, it's cool, man. You know, I said, hey, man, everything all right? Everything all right? You know, we ain't tripping. Laced embrace, man. Laced embraced. You know, but yeah, that's what it was, Freddie. We look here, man. we was the weapons. We was the library and the armory. The library and the armory. You know, we stole everything that wasn't bolted down in that joint. Yeah, man, crazy times, man. Soldier Denise Williams says, "Oh, wait, what? No slave ships found. Oh, Lordy, you about to make me go study. I promise you, I never knew that." Yeah. Huh? No, the ship they have a ship in Europe. I think it's Sweden somewhere, right? And they tried to make this ship pass the ship off as a slave ship, but they ended up correcting themselves, saying that it wasn't involved in the slave trade. It's a red ship. Flotilda? Clotilda? Mobile, Alabama. Oh man, them probably a gambling boat. National Museum of African American History and Culture, DC, has something. Do they have one in the Smithsonian? You know? I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, it's a slave wrecks project. A slave wreck. So what did they say? They're rebuilding it? Or they rebuild? Man, yeah, they're trying to rebuild. No, man. That's some bullshit. That's probably a Spanish ship they found gold on. Let's bring it up and let's rebuild and make it the same. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They ain't got no functional. They have not preserved. There's not one that was supposedly involved in any slave trade, man. Not one. Soldier niece says she's funny. Soldier niece says, wait, what? No slave ships found. Oh, Lordy, you about to make me go study. I promise I never knew that. The city of gold was over here. Oh, that must be in Florida. Yeah. Shakespeare said Africa and Africans in the Making of the Atlantic World, 1400 to 1800 by John Thornton. Okay, Los Angeles Aboriginal says Mansa Musa's brother was Abu Bakar Mansa. He was the big brother who went to the Americas and stayed. I got to read up on him then. Bakar Mansa. I learn some every day, man. We're gonna learn to the day we die, people. As we should. Just stay learning, stay elevating. Elevation chat to the group, man. Real talk, Pope. Okay. Mansa Solomon, romanticized Mansa Solomon, DC, 1359 was Mansa of the Mali Empire. During the middle of the 14th century, he was the brother of Mansa Musa. So Mansa Solomon. Thank you, Michelle Hall, for that. All right. All right. So Los Angeles Aboriginal, he says, can we get rich off nation building and being a boss? No, excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry about that, LA. He said, man, we can get rich off nation building and being a boss. We got to stop competing and not wanting each other to win. Real shit. Real shit. The Tweakins here says, vacant land. Okay, they going at it. I ain't pop that shit, man. Each one teach one, man. Each one reach one. Pretty Boy Love 02 said, organizations what our enemies do not want us to form or have, because the more organized we are, the more powerful our structure cannot be broken. It's the foundation he's speaking about. If the foundation is as strong, it won't crack. And if it crack, it will not crumble. Foundation, man. We got to get to that point, you guys. Sharp Spear says the making of the African diaspora in the Americas, 1441 to 1900 by Vincent Thimpson. And he's given us titles, authors, and titles of books that deal with specifically, I think, well, that book in particular, the diaspora of Africans. Now, I want to just be mindful and caution everybody. See, sometimes I learned this a long time ago, studying in those cells. We have to learn this, and I didn't get it until later. Just as the steady, hitting at me, telling me, man, open my mind, see beyond what is being said or whatever. Most of what we get, even from Black folk, they got from the other folk. You understand what I'm saying? So some of it, what was imparted to me was be mindful, not just be careful, but what we take in and then disseminate out. Understand who that individual was, where did he get his schooling from? You know what I mean? Where did he go to learn? Did he travel? You know what I mean? Who did he rub elbows with? You know what I mean? Who was his mentor, so to speak? Who was his benefactor? If he traveled, there's a lot to it. I had to learn that the hard way, but it made sense to me. It made sense to me because even back then we have today individuals who will say and tell us things that they didn't necessarily, go and discover or find out for themselves, learn for themselves, or educate themselves on. It was something that was given to them from another, someone else other than themselves. So I'm just saying that to say, just be mindful of that, you guys. It's I think the way, the world has changed. We're in a situation now where really, if we want to find or get to the bottom of something, it's possible now. It's possible, it's possible. So that's all I would suggest. Huh? Information highway, man. Pretty Boy Love 02 said Turtle Island is part of the broken puzzle of Africa. When you travel to Caribbean islands, you will see how close we are to the motherland. Turtle Island. John Brown goes on to say they didn't want the knowledge to get passed out. Yeah. Again, when we're talking about not, let's talk about education. I said this maybe 2 months ago, a month ago, maybe two. Some agreed with me, some didn't. I thought that segregation was the best thing for us. That's what that's my opinion, and I can express or explain why. So when we're segregated, what they're saying, they want to have nothing to do with us. They don't want to give us their dollars. They don't want to give us none of their food. They don't want us to go to their school. They don't want to give us books. So then that leaves us to educate ourselves, to feed ourselves, to do for ourselves, create our own government, create our own, service that protects and serves us. Segregation was the best thing for us, man. Because at that time, if you think about it, it was when segregation was in places when our people really, man, I think did well for themselves. I mean, we had some that were struggling because they were in those areas where they control shit. But for those of our people who said, okay, they had the wherewithal to go and find somewhere and create this spot and space just for them, they prospered. They prospered under segregation. All right. And once it was realized that segregation did not help the woods, that it helped us actually, they understood that, okay, no shit, that means they're educating themselves. They're feeding themselves. They're providing for themselves. We have no say in what they're doing. That's a problem. All of a sudden, here comes integration. Integration. They start integrating us. And that's when the problems now, that means we have to be educated by them. We no longer are able to educate ourselves. We're no longer to provide and do for ourselves. We always got to have somebody in our get out now to basically monitor us and, tell us what to do and how to do it. So that's just me, man. That's my take on it, man. Um, the worst thing that happened to us, I think, is integration, man. One of the worst things that happened to us is integration. That way they can keep shit from us. That way that, the mothers and fathers, uncles and aunties, grandmother don't get to lace and raise and educate the youth, the babies, you know, you know. So that's what that is, man. That's why I say what I say. Okay, man. I love the chat, man. And I hope the chat loves itself, the group, the people in the chat, man, are bonding and connecting. I have something to do. I love you guys, and it's all respect. Um, I heard something today about us as a people, and just well, actually about people in general. When people hate other people, it's only because they hate themselves. You know what I mean? It's only because they hate themselves. So it made me think about our brothers and sisters, man. And like I said, I'll be one of the first to acknowledge that. Yeah, I had, I didn't love myself, man, when I was doing a lot of stuff I was doing. But it took me, I had to go through a lot. I've been to hell and back, man. I had to go to hell and back to learn this about myself, that I didn't love myself. So there was no way I could love my mother unconditionally. I love my wife unconditionally, my brothers, and my sisters. I had to get to the point where I'm loving me. I have to love me in order to love someone else. That's my message to y'all, man. Always, you have to love you first. There has to be a reason for you to love you. You have to know why you're loving you in order for you to know why you will be able to love someone else. Love yourself, man, so that you can love others. All right. Take care of yourself so that you could take care of someone else who may be in need, may need your support, may need your guidance, your wisdom, you know, knowledge, whatever, your education, you know. Um, that's just what it is. We have to love one another, man. But the only way we can do this is we love ourselves first. Let's practice on that. Let's work on that, you guys. That being said, let's continue to focus on the focus. I think that's the main thing. Let's focus on the focus in order for us to be able to get down with this get out, man. We're going to put people over paper, man. We got to. We got to get us together All right. So that we can do the things we can do. We can do the things we need to do. And let me tell y'all something else. A lot of us don't realize the world waiting on us. People of the world waiting on us. They need us. Shit, we need us, you know? We are the saviors, you know? That's what I know. That being said, peace and blessings to the chat, to the group in the chat, man. I love you guys. I love everybody, man. Everybody should love themselves, love everybody, because power is in love as well, man. There's love and there's power in love, you know? There's power in the people. Not only that, let's give power to the people, all right? And peace to our sister, Assata Shakur. May she rest in peace. All right. That said, all love, peace and blessings to the chat and to the people. You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. Power in the people. I will leave the message, the links in the chat for you guys. One love. Take care.